Right. Okay, you know, something tells me we're going to have to face something real big here.
Or something that's very numerous. Oh
Either...
yeah, it's a lot of people. It's gonna be a lot of people. You know how I can tell? By the rumbling. And unfortunately, it's gonna be both mostly.
Oh, well. Nothing we can't handle, right? Because we got infinite lives.
Yeah, man. Oh, it's not just bulls, it's also mechs. Man, where the fuck have been all of these conversations before when we did this shit? Shit.
I
It's
think
like
we
it
would...
takes... I think all it takes is one fucking shitstorm to get a good conversation happening.
I
But,
think we
I guess
always...
I can't-
Go ahead.
Yeah, why don't you finish first?
Okay. Well, I was just saying, I think we always talk about something that's somewhat related to this kind of stuff, just never this in-depth, I guess.
I guess so. But what I was gonna say is, I guess it kind of makes sense that shitstorms of various degree start conversations, because it's the things that people like to talk about. Who cares
Right.
about the good? Who cares? Who really cares about talking about like good things happening? Sure, it's nice that it happens, but it's not exactly a conversation you can hold for a very long time. It's like, hey, did you hear that this cool thing happened? Yeah, isn't that cool? Yeah, and that's about it. The the human psyche is just not very interested in things that are, well, good or supposed to happen, because, well, that's one of our biases or something of the sort.
Yeah,
It's
they're...
basic. I don't remember what it's called, but basically, humans are, for the most part, biased to just accept good things as normal. Like, there's a very good example of this. Say you got your car, and you want to start the fucking engine, go somewhere, but it's not starting for some reason. What are you going to do first?
Grab your bat from the back seat and start smashing your car up until it starts working.
Well, that can work as an answer, I guess, but usually what people would do is try to figure out what's wrong with the car.
Oh, well, I mean, you could do that too, but, like, that's amateur
That's
hour.
normal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
amateur hour.
normie stuff. Yeah, but seriously, whenever something's wrong, you're more interested in why it's wrong and how to prevent it from happening. You want to know all the little details. Whereas if something good happens, like your car actually does start, it's like, oh, okay. And the situation is like, oh, it really shouldn't have started, but it did anyway. Like, maybe it's a cold winter day, and the engine was really giving you some shit before, and now it suddenly just works fine. Okay, well, okay. I wonder what happened. And that's about the extent of that conversation or thought process.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, nice. I really like this. Fortune smiles upon me this day, and that's it. It's the same feel. It's the same deal as with all the conversations we had so far. It's like something shit happens. You want to talk about why this is shit. You want to explain why it's shit. How to prevent it from being shit.
Yeah.
Well, we probably didn't get to the prevention point, but maybe one of these days. But we did get to the why it's shit. Why it grinds your fucking gears and all that. It's just more interesting to talk about and to think about, because it's not the norm. It doesn't normally happen. Or at least it's not accepted as a norm.
Yeah, right.
Nobody likes shitty things happening, and everyone always tries to prevent them from happening. Which is why whenever they do happen, it's always a very interesting question. Why did it happen, and how do I stop this?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much what fuels fundamentally all of the question. Why do I keep fucking up the word? All the questions of how to stop the world from being a shitty place. Like, how to stop pollution, how to stop animals from going extinct and all that.
Yeah.
At least that's how I feel about it, because, well, I don't know about you. I really like nature and animals. Even though nature tends to be a harsh fucking mistress at times, I still like it.
Yeah. I would agree with you there.
And I really don't like it when shit happens to it. So I like to see what can I do to prevent it. Most of the time there isn't much a normal person like me can do though. We can only just talk about it, and then the word of mouth will just do its thing. Everyone will keep talking about it, hopefully. But most of the time I feel that those who could do something don't. And there's often no reason for it. Like, I think a good example of that might be one of the not really the latest of triggers, but you might remember when British Petroleum's one of the British Petroleum's oil rigs just bursted somewhere in Mexico Gulf or something.
Are you talking about the big one that was like 7 years ago or something, or?
Yeah, it's not a very recent thing, but yeah, I think that was the one.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It pissed me off to no end, because I thought that could have been prevented. It's not the first oil spill that happens. How did they fuck this up? Did they not learn anything? And all other questions like that.
Right, yeah. I mean, I know nothing about oil spills and how they work, so I can't really offer any input on it, but, I mean...
Well, I can give you the short variant of it, the short version. Basically, oil spills are really fucking bad. The first thing is,
yeah.
they block out the sun, which is needed for most of the sea flora to grow. Because, you know, flora in the sea is really not that different from the flora on the ground. And by the way, flora is another word for plants.
Yeah, I know.
Just in case you didn't know.
I have a little intelligence, just not a whole lot.
Well, it also counts for the viewers. If there are any, of course.
Oh, you're funny.
Oh, you're so cheeky, you fucking bastard. Stop that. You're fucking doing me a concern. But that's just one of the many things it does. Another thing it does is it can affect a lot of, well, animals. Usually birds, can also affect fish who happen to go up to the surface. What it normally does, it depends mostly on the animal itself. For example, the birds, the oil will get very, well, sticky, as it normally is, and it will not allow them to lift off from the water. They will tire themselves out and eventually drown. Or they can actually choke on the oil and die that way.
Right.
Same goes for fish. If they need to surface up for any reason, they can get asphyxiated as well. Since, you know, fish have to breathe oxygen, but thing is, they don't need water for oxygen. Water helps them to absorb it easier. Fins are not there to just, you know, take the water in and just act as both oxygen and drinks. Fish actually have to drink water. That's kind of funny to think about, but they actually have to drink water, like us. It's kind of amazing when you first find out about it, because it just doesn't sound realistic, but that's how it works. And fins don't actually let them drink water. It's only there to ease the processes of osmosis, which allows them to, well, absorb oxygen a little easier. Since there's no sunlight, the flora cannot produce as much oxygen, if any at all, which means the fish choke eventually.
Yeah. Can I just say that there are a lot of fucking guys here?
Yes. As you might also know, if you ever checked on the level select. Probably not, but now you will know, so it counts. This is also the last level of the game. So, a lot of enemies to kill is expected. Yeah, that's pretty much all there is to know about oil spills. I don't know much about them myself either, but I do know the basic stuff. It's dangerous for animals, and I think the other danger that it can pose is to humans, particularly ships, because as you might already be well aware, it's oil.
Yeah.
It can catch on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And that is bad.
That reminds me of where I live. It happened like 50 years ago or something. But where I live in Cleveland, one of our rivers, one of the big rivers that runs through the area, I guess not necessarily the city, but the area, the Cuyahoga River, there were so many different factories and companies just dumping their oil and their chemicals into the river that when that the river, caught on fire, and it not only caught on fire, but it stayed on fire for God knows how long. And it was like absolutely horrible for the environment as a whole, the surrounding area. Like I read somewhere that we're still affected by it in some way today. Like, as a result of that happening, we get more cloud cover in the area than,
because of the additional pollution. Crude oil is not a very good thing for the atmosphere. It has a lot of various pollutants and greenhouse gases.
Right.
In fact, with oil, in the pockets of oil, you'll also find that there's a lot of natural gases. So that also tends to, participate in the fucking problem of pollution.
Yeah.
So yeah, oil spills for all that they're worth are really fucking bad.
Just a little.
Yeah, there's nothing but trouble out of them. So avoiding them should be top priority for these companies. So whenever some spill actually happens, I'm pissed. I'm fucking pissed. It shouldn't be happening.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it necessarily would be top priority for someone like them, because
it should be, because it's illegal to dump oil everywhere.
Well,
if anyone ever caught them doing that, they'd be in such trouble that they would have to shut down their fucking business. Well, that's what I think, at least. Either way, they'd be in so much shit that they might as well close the fucking companies and call themselves bankrupt. It would be the safest and easiest way to avoid getting fucked in the ass by everything that exists in this world.
Right.
Unfortunately, it keeps happening. And unfortunately, this isn't the only stupid thing that keeps happening. Right now in Lithuania, there's a lot of raining happening. More than usual. And because of that, people are suffering from crop losses. Their harvests are being destroyed by the excessive rain, which causes rotting.
Yeah.
And also, plants choke. Because, yeah, they can choke too. Bet you didn't know that.
I did, actually, because that's happened here too. Oh, we got disconnected. The hell?
What the hell?
Can you still hear me, at least?
Oh, you got disconnected or something?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hold on a second. While you're connecting back, I'm gonna turn the lights on.
Okay. Do I gotta...
I actually thought I hit my cable and I got disconnected there for a moment.
I think you gotta send me another invite.
No problem.
But
Here you go.
yeah, I was saying that. I mean, I know that plants can choke because the same sort of thing has happened here before, where there's just been so much rain that they can't take it and they die.
We are still recording, right?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Well, yeah, it is something interesting to think about because when you think plants, you don't exactly think choking.
Yeah.
But it's a different kind of choking because plants not only need water, which they suck in through the roots, but they also need a bit of a gap to suck in the oxygen from the air through the same roots.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell that I'm a bit of a biology nerd, by the way? I really
Yeah, a
like
little.
biology. I don't know what to tell you.
You know
Just
what?
like biology.
You really do not peg me as that type of person, though. I gotta be honest.
I know it really doesn't feel like it, but I just love biology. It's fucking amazing. It's the best thing to learn because it's so cool.
I hate science in general, so I'm the exact opposite of you.
Are you a No, wait a minute. That doesn't make sense.
You gonna call me like a
I was gonna
Scientologist?
say, are you a scientist? Say, are you a Scientologist? But wait a minute. They're supposed to like science, right?
Yeah.
Well, I guess the better thing to say is, are you a fucking Christian or something?
Well, I am, but that's not why.
I am too.
Yeah, that's not why I dislike science. I find it so uninteresting, which is weird because science really in actuality is interesting, and I recognize that. I just don't have any interest in it. You know,
That's
like it.
fine. I mean, if you don't really care for it, it's okay. Again, nobody's gonna force you to like something you don't really feel like liking, but you know, it's something to consider looking at least once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, the one, I guess, if you want to call it like department of science that I really enjoy is meteorology. I love weather. I love learning about various weather patterns and whatnot. It's one thing I love about science.
Quick interjection for the game. This is where we have to make our last stand until that door over there opens up.
Cool.
This is pretty much right before the boss fight, and as such, there will be a lot of killing. It's probably better to stay around the center though, because those pickups that we saw earlier, they actually respawned.
Oh, okay.
Left for your convenience, so you can actually not only survive, but also have enough ammunition to do so. So don't forget to visit the center platform to get yourself restocked every now and then, because you'll need it. Trust me.
Okay. Yeah, you know, considering that about all of my shots miss, so.
Well, the sciences I actually really like are biology and geography.
When you say geography, do you mean meteorology or do you mean something different?
General geography, like how to say, various rock formation things, you know, tectonic plate movements, maps, all that stuff.
Oh.
Pretty much everything that geography has involved in it.
Wouldn't that be considered like geology, not geography?
Yeah.
Or...
Well, geology I think fits into that criteria, but I think geography is the right term to use if you want to say you like just about everything about it.
All right. I mean,
that's the case for me. For the most part, I like the maps the most.
Yeah.
But, well, everything else I like it too because it's cool.
Yeah. I mean, if we're talking general, or if we're talking geography in the sense of, you know, what's the capital of England? You know, I'm into that kind of geography.
Yeah, but that's kind of easy mode there.
Well, yeah, a little. Yeah, it's
Probably wouldn't be able to pinpoint all of the capitals anymore, but back in school, I used to ace that shit all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a problem with American schools where we learn all the capitals of the states. Well, actually, no, we don't. I had to learn those on my own because I wanted to because I was a nerd. But, we learned more about United States geography than we did world geography, which is, I guess, why I don't know so many world capitals. I know more than probably the average kid did because I was a nerd in that way and I loved learning about that stuff. But, like, to be honest with you, I probably can't tell you what the capital of Poland is. Like, I have no idea. I don't know what the capital of Poland is.
That would be Warsaw.
Right, see, I recognize that name, but I never would have known that would have been the capital.
Well, that is not necessarily very useful information, plus you can find it very easily nowadays, but it's useful to know if you're a lazy bastard like me.
Yeah. And I always like that. I guess a good way to describe that kind of information is like it's trivia based, like, it's like a trivia question almost.
Yeah, it's useful but not necessary.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, additional power-ups are now spawning in. Like super speed and super strength.
Could use both of those.
Well, I picked up the super strength, but there's still super speed.
Is it in the center?
Yeah. Everything spawns in the center here.
There we go.
Don't forget the armor. Armor really helps in this game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was actually going to finish my story about Lithuania and its plight. Though I say that with certain disdain in my voice because what plight hasn't Lithuania seen in its fucking life? At this point, it feels like everything except Zeus shooting us down with his thunderbolts has happened. But yeah, nowadays people are like, "Oh, my crops, the harvest is ruined and everything," and it just makes me wonder. How the fuck do you not have drainage systems in your farm? Because this is kind of it really boggles my mind. This shit was discovered thousands of years ago, and you still don't have it.
Yeah, right. It's the same thing over here. I mean, and I guess maybe it's something to do with affordability, but, this...
I suppose so. That probably is the main reason here, but if you can afford a farm, I think you can also afford various equipment needed for the farm, which probably means you can also afford drainage.
Well, I would say that too, but, the farmers around here, like, I'm pretty positive that they don't have drainage systems because there's always headlines in the newspapers and everything and on the TV stations like, a lot of rain this year. As a result, crops are dying in the area. So that leads me to believe that there are a lot of poor farmers that don't have access to drainage systems.
Yeah, that could be a possibility. Even then, they could come up with various other ways of getting rid of the excess water. I'm pretty sure there are various methods to do that nowadays. I mean, it's the fucking future of farming. We should be able to do various things, like maybe build fucking tents that collect water and just, I don't know, put it in a big old barrel or something. Here you go, fresh rainwater. You can use it to water your plants later. Don't have to get extra water yourself. That sounds like a thing that would probably happen nowadays, but it doesn't seem to happen. Oh damn, actually, talking about the news, I saw a video titled "In Search of the Media's Golden Age." Holy shit!
What's that about?
Was it... a person was trying to debunk a claim that there was a golden age of media, like newspapers and shit,
Yeah.
The golden age of journalism. That's the fucking name. I got this a little mixed up. And he went as far as several hundred years. You know, as early as the first few publications of journalism appeared. And the consensus is there never was a golden age. Journalism was always shit.
Yeah. Yep.
It's quite amazing, actually, because it's something you don't really think about. But when you learn about it, it starts to make sense. I can link that video to you later. I think you should look at it.
Yeah, I mean, especially since journalism is another thing that I'm real into, you know. I'm kind of invested into as well, so...
Yeah, well, the general idea is that journalism has always been pretty much biased. There hasn't been a time where it wasn't. And the few odd exceptions that ever popped up in history never lived long enough to be popular enough to survive through the ages. And ones that have eventually turned into, well, the same old shit that they tried to not be. So, no matter how hard they tried, journalists have always been a bunch of shit. It's quite amazing, really. It's worth watching. So, I don't know, you may not approve of the channel's choice. I'll leave the channel's name as a surprise.
Okay. Is it like PewDiePie or something?
Nah. It's just a figure that's known well enough by some amount of people, like about 600,000 subscribers or something, who happens to get into various controversy lately.
Oh, I gotta think of people then.
Good luck. That's a lot of people.
Is his name No Bullshit?
No.
No. Okay.
Love a debunking channel if I ever made one.
Okay. What else? Shit. I can't actually think of anybody.
Yeah, don't worry about it. So you may be wondering, how much longer do I have to kill these creatures? Well, you'd be surprised, but this is a pretty long last stand. And in a way, I'm not upset about it at all, because this is the last level. So, why not go out all the way through? Like, just go out in proper style, destroy thousands of soldiers.
Sure.
There probably isn't that many in this game, but at times, it can definitely feel that way. I think we can also check the statistics after we're done with this shit to see how many creatures we actually did end up killing.
Okay. Oh my god.
I can imagine there's at least 1,000 creatures that he killed off, but... in this level, it's probably gonna be a lot more than that. Just keep an eye on the big door. Eventually, I believe it opens up. So, I would
take
not
on
be
the boss
surprised
in
if
there?
you actually have to open it up yourself.
Do we take on the boss in there?
Yep.
Oi.
The boss is much easier than this, I can assure you of that. He's kind of a pushover.
Okay. Cool. Good.
Oh, look at that. The door is open.
Don't leave me behind. No, it opened up again.
How very nice of the boss. Shit, that backpack you picked up was gone.
Really?
It's like, yeah, that's like the only pickup that disappeared in this entire game. And here's a boss. Supposedly some kind of a weird mage.
Ooh, this kick-ass music.
I don't know if he's supposed to be all magical or not, but I don't really care. What I care about is the fact that we can beat the shit out of him. So, we will do such a thing. Ignore others, they're not important. Whenever you find speed shoes, pick them up, very useful to have. And just keep pumping cannonballs, lasers, minigun ammo at his face. Keep pumping everything into his face until he keels over.
I'll do my best.
Shouldn't be very difficult. He's already at yellow health. Man, that reminds me, the final boss of Bogus Detour. Oh, he's challenging, to say the least.
Is it, is it like a giant caterpillar or something?
No, you're fighting two killer mechs.
Oh.
It gets pretty intense, because at one point, the guy you were chasing throughout the game, or at least throughout the last few levels, decides to call out the team of engineers to try and fix the mechs during the fight. You have to kill them so that they don't repair too much damage.
Oh.
Luckily for you, at certain intervals, the health bar just gets, shut down in a way. Like, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, at certain points, they can't regenerate more health than what you've already destroyed. Like, they get chunked out and closed off. I think I'm getting through.
I'm sure.
Well, let me try this again. Basically, there's chunks of their health bars, and if you deplete the chunk, they cannot repair that chunk.
Okay, I got what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I want to say.
Yeah.
And it's good, because otherwise that boss fight would be pretty fucking annoying. Final boss fight or not. And there he goes.
Cool. Oh, wait. He was still there.
No, he wanted to turn on his Michael Bay explosions. Kablam!
How old is this game?
That I don't remember, actually. We're gonna need to look this up after we're done here. Oh, standing ovations for us? How many things did he kill anyway? Only 1,166. Definitely felt it.
Out of a potential 1224.
But yeah, that was it. In our session here, we nearly destroyed 2,000 creatures in this one area. If he actually played from the beginning to the end, that number would have easily been in around tens of thousands. Maybe 10,000 or 20,000.
In total?
That's a lot. Yeah, in total. That's a lot of enemies.
Just a few. A small amount. No big deal.
But yeah, we beat the game, man. We beat the game.
All right, cool. The next one is just Serious Sam 2, right? Or is it Serious Sam 3?
It should be free. I don't think 2 has multiplayer. I'll look it up for you.
Okay.
Second Encounter was released in 2010, at least the HD edition. I'll have a look at the other editions, see if that is any different. Let's have a look. The Classic Edition was released in 2002. That's not the one we played, though. We played the HD Edition.
Yeah, because I was going to say it looked like an older game, but I wasn't too sure.
And our next one, which if it's not 2, it's 3 BFE, was released in 2011. Whenever we pick that one up, you'll notice a very big graphical overhaul.
Okay, cool.
Man, this son of a bitch costs $37 at the moment.
I bought the entire Serious Sam pack. It included all literally all of the Serious Sam games for about $10 when originally it's like $100 or something.
Oh yeah, it was a good deal. I think it wasn't even $10. I think it was a little less than that.
Possibly, I don't know.
Like it was like 80 or 95% off. I don't
Yeah,
remember the exact number, but it was a big discount. Well worth getting.
right, yeah. Um,
Oh, actually, if I look at the complete pack bundle right now, it says I only would spend €4, and that's because I'm only missing DLC for the second encounter.
what's the DLC for the second encounter?
Just additional characters for multiplayer.
Oh, I thought maybe it was like extra missions or something.
Yeah, that's all that there is to it. It's $5, and that's it.
Okay.
Oh
All right.
yeah, the second game does have multiplayer co-op, but I don't really like that game too much.
Well, we don't have to play it if you don't want to.
Yeah, I think we should just skip it and go straight for number 3. Number 3 is good.
Okay.
It's also shorter for one, but what do you expect?
Okay. All right. Well, that's the end of this series, guys. This is the end of Serious Sam Second Encounter. Next time you see us together, we will most likely be doing Serious Sam 3. Is it BFE or something like that?
Serious Sam 3 BFE. That stands for Before First Encounter.
Oh, so it's like a prequel or something.
Yes.
Okay, well, we'll be there for that, so we'll see you guys then, I guess.
If you liked our shitty ramblings, make sure to subscribe. I wanted to say subscribe for some reason. Make sure to subscribe to Captain. I know he probably doesn't like me shilling for him, but fuck you.
Yeah, you really don't need to. But, the Game Train, on the other hand, whose link is actually in the description box down below, go check out that channel. It's got some pretty decent content on there.
You'll also be amazed at how unoften, yeah, that's a word now, by the way, unoften, I actually discuss the interesting and deep discussions, because I'm more about the shitty jokes and bullshit.
I think as we all are, I think we can all really appreciate those kind of jokes.
Of course, shitty jokes deserve to live. They're the human right.
Right. All right. Okay, well.
Good to see another good playthrough done and finished.
Yep. So there we go. I'll talk to you guys later.